I've finally Kamurai is back on the Hangouts officially and correctly. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to We Are Movie Club Saturday Hangout. I am Kamurai.
And I am Charlie, but I am yet to come up with a wrestling style introduction. I should probably get working on that.
No, that'll never happen again. All my intro stuff, a lot of my intro exit stuff was actually based off like the idea of wanting to be a professional wrestler.
It's a fair dream to have. We've all done it.
Well, I mean, especially as a young man, like I actually looked into training, but I didn't have the resources to actually get myself to places, and I guess maybe I was lacking determination because like other people have stories like that where they didn't have that either, but they still did it. What was that? Oh, that is okay. That's horrible. That's what it sounds like. I had our Hangout running in the background so I could get it on the comment tracker.
Oh right. So that's who the one viewer is that's now disappeared then.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh man. Oh man. Okay. But yeah. So like that's where like if you don't like me, bite me came from. It's even where Have a Nice Day came from. Back when I used to do that. Because I think the impression was like, hey buddy, I like you, have a good day, and it's not what it was at all. It was a nod to Foley, like, because he'd come out there and like have matches where they'd beat on each other with steel chairs, and they would be, have a nice day! It even proved me wrong, and not that I've used that one lately, but yay!
How have you been, man? It's been a few weeks.
It has, and I'm trying to make it up as much as possible. I had all this available time this week, right when I got back to make things up. I left my laptop with TSA in friggin' Austin, or in Houston, Texas. So they had to mail that back. They took it out of the bag because apparently it's procedure whenever you see a laptop. You take it out and you make sure that it is a laptop and whatever. Because I saw him do it the other times, but I didn't see him do it. I guess maybe I was tying my shoe. And then when I got my bag back, it was already zipped back up and everything. And I didn't see my laptop anywhere. So I had no reason to be like, oh, I need to put my laptop back in my bag. So I left. Granted, the line was kind of backed up at the time because someone else, you know what, someone else probably left their laptop there too, now that I think about it, because there was a MacBook sitting at the front of the line with nobody claiming it.
Oh, right. So
they probably need to make people more aware over there.
Otherwise everyone will be losing them.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to think that like you get a couple laptops in and then nobody goes, we have to be doing something wrong. You can't really look at like everything. You can totally look at the situation and go, well, man, people are dumb. But you've got to be like, did we do something to help this situation, you know?
Unless they're just trying to make a business out of it, I suppose.
Well, they don't get any money off it. Like I ended up overnighting it to me like at cost $100. And then fucking FedEx again. I hate our courier systems here in the U.S. I like DHL for the most part, but like FedEx and UPS are both pieces of shit. I got it overnight at $100. They got it by 12 the next morning, but then they have the office sign for it, but they don't tell me that that's what fucking happened. I see that on the line that it got signed for by a name I'm not going to say, but I have no idea who that actually is, nor do I know that they dropped off at a place that's going to close down where I can get at it. So I had to wait till the next morning and go in later for work. So totally not worth it. I guess I could have it overnighted to work, but
it all sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I don't. The whole point was to get it overnighted so that I could get it and then get the videos transferring because that took a minute.
Hmm.
And then I've just been trying to go through it, and then just one thing after the next. I don't know. Oh, look what I'm wearing.
Nice.
We were supposed to have another guest here, but she decided she liked seeing me sad online, so she's
So
still
she
at
ran
work.
away.
She's at work. She didn't do the conversions right because I always like whenever I talk to anyone on the internet now, I talk about time in GMT.
Yeah.
And I use my 24-hour thing, so she might have got confused.
Yeah, the whole East
Bless her
Coast West
little
Coast
heart.
thing.
I mean, we're here in America. I guess maybe I should just been like blah 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 Eastern or blah 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 on Western. It's not Western. It's Pacific. Time's stupid.
It is. It is.
We need a metric version of time, which, if I remember right, exists. Can't remember what it's called though. Do you?
I was about to suggest GMT.
Well, no, I'm happy using GMT, but I'm just saying like it doesn't actually work because the way GMT is based is everyone looks at like, oh, it's GMT, so my time is this. They always do a conversion.
Are you
But
talking
there's
about UTC?
I think it's UTC. That may be it, where they use the Swiss meridian.
Yeah, because the Swiss are the centre of everything.
Well, they're not, but they came up with the 4-hour internet time that uses beats. And I like that a lot more. Personally, I don't know.
Please don't confuse me any more than I'm already confused.
Well, you just eventually we're gonna have to adjust it, but it's not clear like how we need to adjust it. Haven't yet. Eventually, America will join the rest of the world using the metric system, which even then I have my doubts about at times. But there is a universal standard for time because we're going to have to eventually convert time between here in the moon and here in Mars.
Oh, God.
So there will be a universal time of some sort.
Oh, joy.
But it's all flawed because it's based off like the amount of time that like Terra takes to rotate or traverse around the sun. So it's not. Why? Why do you make it so difficult? You want pets? Just get up in my lap and lay there. Like I pulled him up because he wouldn't get in my lap. He was just clawing at my leg, and then fucking idiot like laid out, so he wasn't actually in my lap.
Can I just stress at this point that he is talking about one of his cats and not me?
No, it was on the thing. I pulled him up.
That's fine then.
I don't know. I don't get Charlie in my lap as often as I would like.
Well, you know, keep and keep.
Anyways,
should we talk about films?
I want to talk about films. I really meant to watch something this week. And I am pathetic because I've just kept continuing with How I Met Your Mother. Even with all the great noise about some of the movies out there like Earth to Echo, that was one of the movies they were showing at VidCon.
Right.
And I've been seeing a lot of reviews and stuff saying like it's the next E.T. Which I get the correlation, but
that's strong praise indeed.
Yeah, that's a huge thing to say, and I don't even know if it's necessary. Like, do we need a new E.T.?
Well, if the only other alternative is
What? Charlie.
E.T.
Charlie.
God, what's going on?
I don't know. You stopped. You froze.
Oh no. Is it sorted now?
I can hear you fine, but I can't see me now,
Oh,
which is funny.
that's okay.
And that's fine. Yeah, no one needs to see me. You said something about a new ET.
Yeah, I said if the other alternative is getting a new ET, then I'd probably stick with the Earth to Echo. To be honest, I'm going through a phase of not liking remakes.
Now, when you say a remake, are you talking about a movie that's meant to be an ode to an older movie? Like, obviously, Earth to Echo has similarities to ET, but it's not like Amazing Spider-Man. That's a true reboot. Like, same concept, new movie.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about like an actual remake of an original film, just like how Turtles is going to be. It's essentially just a remake.
Okay.
I know that's a reboot as well, but you know what I mean.
Well, see, and that's...
Carrie would be a better example.
Yeah, and as much as I love Chloe Moretz, like that she was the wrong person for that particular role. And they didn't really have a vision for it because they essentially just did what the first person did. Did you ever see the second Carrie, the 2002 one?
No, I didn't. Although I know you had opinions on it.
Yeah, it's just like that one they actually took in a slightly different direction, and I really think like somebody had a vision, but they didn't really have a budget. So they got the best cast they could because they knew they weren't going to be able to make all the effects and stuff the way they wanted to. So they got a really good cast in there, and they just kind of bet the pony, and they got a sequel out of it.
Well, that helps. I think the new one's just actually come out on Netflix in the UK as well. I noticed.
Ooh.
So having a browse earlier.
See, so I'm gonna have to really work up on what I'm gonna be doing, because like I got in and like all my Netflix were sitting there. I'm like, oh, you've been waiting for me for like 2 weeks. I did bad work. I'm actually excited.
It's just trying to give me recommendations for what else I can watch now. I've watched Red vs. Blue on there, so you know, it's bringing up a few more web series type things.
I'm sorry for that, because I know it's not particularly your thing.
Well, should we move on to that now, or?
Well, hold on. I want to talk about Netflix for a minute.
Go.
Because it's always good for us to stop and talk about the industries, about what's going on and such. I found myself not using the bottom part of Netflix anymore when you log in.
How do you mean?
Like, I've got my recently watched, I've got my popular in Netflix, and then I've got my list. I've stopped paying attention to anything below that.
I don't tend to. I just tend to have my list and that's it.
Well, it's too noisy. There's just like, and maybe I can customize it somehow. But like recently, popular on Netflix is above my list, so I can see what's catching on. And then they got the huge advertisement. I don't know if you've seen this or not. I'm gonna give the audience, but like that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Is that what it looks like for you?
Mhm.
Okay. And yeah, and Hemlock Grove's the new thing they're pushing. I can't believe that got another season. Honestly, I thought it was done.
I haven't seen. That's another Netflix one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's another Netflix original. I pushed through season 1. I can't say I particularly remember enjoying it, but I watched it. I was like, okay, that was good. There's a nice experience. We're done. I never expected season 2, and I don't know why. Because like Orange is the New Black season 2's out, and I haven't got to that either. Because I know I'm just gonna watch it back to back to back and binge through the whole thing. So I wanted to save it for when I was ready. But I can't see myself doing Hemlock. And normally there's a couple different options, like you can flip through stuff. But right now it's watch our series right at the top. I can't say I enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, one thing that I got a bit confused about. I was in a shop today and I saw Orange is the New Black on DVD.
Yeah.
I don't know. Almost don't see the point of that.
it's just additional revenue. They have the option to sell it, so why wouldn't they?
Yeah, but it's about $30 for the DVD of season 1.
Because it's a series. You can
I
sell
know, but
movies for 15 because it's what, up to 3 hours of time. Essentially, you're selling plus extras. With the manufacturer costs set in, series sets are larger. It takes more manufacturing, and you're not getting 3 hours of time. You're getting like, especially with Orange is the New Black, that's an hour an episode. I can't remember how many episodes there are offhand, but so let's be conservative and say that's 15 hours of time. Because that would be 15. Yeah, that sounds about right. Let's say 12 hours. 12 episodes, 1 hour each. Yeah, I'll commit to that. So like, it's one of those things when you're running a business. Like, well, how do we make money? Well, idiots will still buy DVDs, so let's sell DVDs. I wish Netflix would go, you know what? We know the future is streaming and data. Let's just stay there.
Yeah.
But that's they got their start on DVDs. Stand by a minute. I think I got food here. Talk to the people, Charlie.
Random intermission. I wish we had some kind of commercial break we could run. It'd be good for a laugh, wouldn't it? I'll tell you this now, actually, while he's not here, so he can know this. I'm actually selling most of my DVDs. I've got a massive box under my desk here that's going to get me about $60, $70 because I need the money and I haven't got space for shed loads of DVDs. I might have spoken about this last week, actually, but, you know, no one watches it, so who gives a shit. So, yeah, I'm trying to make space. I'm also having great fun going through Netflix and on the taste profile and rating films that you've seen so that you can discover new ones. The amount of times I'm pressing haven't seen it, haven't seen it, haven't seen it. It's quite depressing, actually. And if Kamurai finds out how many times I've pressed it, he would probably just have some kind of shame fit at me.
So sorry about that.
Talking about. That's okay.
What are you saying?
I'm talking about how ashamed you'll be of me.
Charlie, I'm never ashamed of you. It's such a strong way to phrase it.
Oh, that's alright then.
No, what were you saying?
I'm saying, you know the whole taste profile on Netflix where you can rate films you've seen so it can suggest you new things?
Yeah, that I'd love to talk about that system for a minute because it seems like a bunch of bullshit.
Well, I've lost count how many times I've pressed the words "haven't seen it."
Oh, Charlie.
And there are some there are some films on there which I really should be giving stars to because I really should have seen them. You
should have seen them, or you saw them and you're not rating them.
No, just should have seen them.
Look. Your time is your time. You dedicate what time you have to things you do, and that's what it is. Don't stop feeling bad about it.
I've rated 56 things.
Okay, probably laughably small to mine. But that whole profiling thing, I don't understand how it works because, like, I get a rating system, 1 to 5 stars. It even has explanations. But occasionally it asks you like, if you've seen or like how often do you watch romantic comedies and what are the options? It's like never, sometimes, or always.
Yes.
So like I'm like 95% of the time I'm hitting sometimes.
Yeah, me too.
Because that always doesn't make sense. It never makes sense. It's like I never watch documentaries. Like I get those people. But I can't remember what I possibly would have hit that for.
I don't think I've ever pressed often.
Is it often and not always? Did I make a mistake?
Yeah, I think it's often instead.
Okay. Well then, okay, yeah. So like, there are certain things I hit often for, and then everything else, it's like, it's sometimes.
Yeah, it's usually sometimes.
So like, I don't see how that helps because I watch so many different things.
Hmm.
Um, bleh, bleh,
Yeah,
bleh,
you're a
bleh.
bit more ranged than me.
Oh yeah, Charlie. Like some of us watch things that aren't meant for children or spy movies. Oh
Is, is that a reference to my future picks?
no, because your next pick, if I remember right, is not either of those things. But it's just me picking on you very gently. Because if you look at your
What is my
history
next
of
pick?
picks,
Hmm.
it's the submarine one.
Yeah,
I don't know
you've
if you
you've
want to
pretty
say it
got
yet.
you pretty much got me down to a T.
Yeah, but yeah, generally that's what you've picked, and there's nothing wrong with that. And generally they're good movies. So it's like even if I bitch about the mean kid movies, it's not like they're horrible movies. Uh, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, like I totally see the appeal, even if it's not for me.
I'm hoping to be able to get the DVD of the second one soon.
Oh, you guys don't have it on instant watch over there?
I, I don't know actually. I just haven't actually looked for it. Um, I'd love to pick the Lego Movie at some point if that ever kind of became an easier film to get hold of.
I can't imagine us not doing the Lego movie when it becomes available for you.
I think it comes out on DVD next week over here,
Okay,
and it is my intent.
I just made a huge commitment going through all the Red versus Blue stuff.
Yeah, you have done.
Um, that's just the fact of it. Why? There I am. Okay. Uh, so whenever we get through that, if I don't take us through Ruby, I gotta rewatch it, make sure that it's appropriately like timed. Because if it's not like a movie, because I've never watched it all the way through, I've just watched it episodically. So if it doesn't fit as a thing, I'm not gonna have us do it. But
Mm.
I'm actually looking forward to getting through Red versus Blue and picking real movies. Because there have been a couple things that popped up, be like, oh, that'd be a great pick, and I've forgotten all of them.
You are allowed to put Red vs Blue on hold. You know.
No, because we're finally to where I wanted to be in the first place.
At the end of Blood Gulch.
Yeah, it's so much work. It's like it's gotta like because I wanted to get through Blood Gulch, because where I really enjoy the series, where I really start to enjoy the series as much as you've seen me like it thus far, is season 6. It's by far my favorite season, and season 6 through 10 is a whole wonderful story, and to me it feels like the reason Bernie did, even though this isn't true at all, the reason Bernie did 1 through 5 was to set up for the Freelancer saga, which is 6 through 10.
Mm.
And it doesn't and 6 through 10 is exactly set up for seasons 11 and 12, but Miles is definitely giving the Freelancer saga a run for its money, with everything he's writing for it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's you don't follow. Bernie Burns wrote the first 10 seasons, and he handed the reins over to Miles for season 11. And he definitely he started his dip at season 1, but season 12 is pretty amazing so far.
Oh, you've been
So,
keeping up with the new episodes.
okay. Well, I went to RTX, so I wanted to make sure I was up to date on whatever I could, because if I remember right, Ruby Season 2 is just now starting, and I missed that panel anyways. Immersion got put on hold. I don't keep up with Achievement Hunters just because I don't watch a lot of gameplay, though I did find somebody I want to find out more about. YouTube thing. I found all these people through VidCon and RTX, so like I'm slowly getting myself to look at each of their channels and stuff. It feels like so much effort to put forward towards it to watch some YouTube stuff, but there was Weird Girls who were at RTX. Seemed totally awesome, lovely ladies. Like Danny was like someone. It's like I would probably just hang out with you now, if not back in high school. Just a comic book girl, but she just has this great personality. I really felt keen on there. And then there's a girl Zombie, who she does gameplay stuff, and I want to check out her gameplay stuff. Because everyone, I don't know how much Let's Play stuff you watch, even though you and I do a little bit. Everybody has a different style, and a different atmosphere they build when they do that.
I do watch quite a lot, actually.
So yeah, I definitely want to check out her stuff. And she's a cosplay person. She builds rather intricate cosplay outfits. So it's
Interesting.
I don't know. I may have to add her to my list of internet crushes. But she jumped up the charts. Let me say that. Oh man. No. Man. Oh, Charlie. Movies. Did you watch anything this week yourself?
Yes, I actually got 2 in today, which I was surprised I managed to get that far. I did Red vs. Blue 5 as the whole thing rather than episodically, for a change.
Ooh, really?
Sweet bejesus, it is so much better as a whole, like a one big movie type thing.
See? The
only criticism I've got with season 5 is that the last 20 minutes just seem really. It's kind of like, wait, what?
Wait, how did you watch it?
That kind of reaction I had for the last 20 minutes.
Was it on Netflix?
Yeah, they put the first 5 seasons on Netflix, at least.
Okay, here's the problem with watching it on Netflix. I don't know what ending you saw.
Well, it ended with the ship exploding, but before that, people were sort of voices with people, things to do with the radios.
Okay, but what happened after the ship exploded?
It kind of just, almost kind of just faded out. You had China decided he didn't really want to do anything anymore, and then it kind of faded out into song.
Okay. I always forget because there's actually multiple endings to it. If you were to watch the DVD, or I guess you could probably find the episodes online. There's alternate endings, and a lot of them are goofy. But when they released it, they just put out a bunch of endings at random, and didn't tell anybody what the real ending was.
That makes sense.
Because the ending you saw was really somber, and some of the other ones were kind of insane. Like they did one of those things where, well, okay, hold on, that one's built off the other one. They did one where like they all actually start fighting for real. They actually start killing each other. Because Griff's making fun of the fact that Tex died, and Church shoots him, and all hell breaks loose. And then they did another one where it's like, where did they go?
Yeah.
But like they're using the footage from the death one. So like each time someone dies, they freeze it and they say like, Griff went on to be a father of 12 children or whatever it was. I can't remember.
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, there's just a lot going on. They put some real special work into it. So no, but you're right. It's very somber, and it's very open-ended too. It doesn't feel like it closed up on itself.
Yeah, well, we obviously know that it carries on, but yeah, it just seemed very open-ended, and I think what my main criticism I've got is just that, well, I understand how O'Malley's introduction was supposed to be, obviously an ambush, so you weren't really supposed to expect it, but then everything, everything suddenly happened, and I had no idea what was going on and where people were coming from.
O'Malley's?
So, yeah, he kind of comes in near the end, disguised as Wyoming, I think.
No, he meets up with Wyoming. He like follows one, or he's supposed to meet Wyoming there because they're all supposed to get on the ship and go do whatever. Now, how do I say this? Doc shows up. Maybe that's who you meant.
Yeah, I remember Doc showing up.
But Omega ends up jumping from person to person.
Yeah, this is where it all got confusing because it was.
Oh, my favorite part is what you don't like.
Well, it was suddenly I don't know, I must have zoned out when the Omega bit started because it was suddenly, none of it made sense.
Help me out, Charlie. What didn't make sense about what?
Well, it was just like, well, where did this come from, and how is it suddenly that some people are suddenly changing their personalities and doing all sorts of other stuff? It suddenly seemed to it had been like an hour and a half of it being sort of relatively slow paced, and the Reds were doing this and Blues were doing this, and then it went to like 1,000,000 miles an hour.
No, you're absolutely. I totally agree because that's how the program jumps. It's almost instantaneous. Or Omega just was jumping from whatever comm frequency opened up at the time to whoever it was, so that he could figure out who he wanted to be in. And that was the point of everybody opening up their radio, so it could go to anybody, so it was harder to find text, which is really a bullshit thing. And I can't talk about my theory on why so many stupid things happen in seasons 1 through 5, because you haven't seen the other ones yet.
No, I haven't got that far.
Yeah, there'd be some major spoilers, even though I had a guy at RTX tell me I need to rewatch everything again. When I tried to express that, I'm like, no, maybe you do.
Oh dear.
But
overall, I thought it pretty good. It wasn't as good as I still think 3 is my favourite so far.
I think 3 was the one that honestly had the best bits of it. Because the 1 and 3 nominally have very little story driving it. It really has a lot more humor driving it, or at least situational humor. So they tend to be funnier, which makes them more enjoying, more compelling, but they lack substance. So in the overall arc of the story, like they're the least important, whereas 2 is vital. 2 sets up everything for seasons 3, 4, or 5.
Yeah.
And then 5 is this nice mix of story and humor, but 4 is another thing where it's like, well, we have to set this and this and this up. And
yeah, I think 4 is the one that draws the most criticism from me.
You're gonna have to refresh me. What sort of criticism?
Well, it was just the fact that it didn't seem to be red versus blue. It seemed to be more red and blue. And it was
you're right, and that's probably what made it less funny, is because they're super hilarious when they're at each other's throats.
Yeah, exactly, and it just barely seemed to happen at all. That it was kind of, there were opportunities where you could have put the sort of connections of the 2 in there, and just nothing happened. So,
well, I think part of it is that they've figured out that they're actually not on opposite sides anymore. Even if they're pretending like half the time through season 3 through 5. So they unfortunately backed off of that, because that was still one of the most compelling parts, was that not only are these teams of people that dislike each other within the teams, they're in a unit of people who are divided, like very bipartisan, if you will, of people who don't like each other because they were trained not to like each other. Which is just such fun madness.
I will say though that in season 5, Caboose gets on my nerves a little bit less.
Okay, I did want to talk to you about this.
Drove me absolutely mental in season 4.
What is your problem with Caboose? He's the most lovable thing ever.
It's just like, I know you're slow. I get it, but you know, it gets to a point where it's just like just really grating.
Caboose is
And
fucking stupid. Don't even sugarcoat it. He's like retarded.
well, yeah, he's
Like
yes. We'll
seriously, if you
use that.
look at everybody. Like Caboose is pretty much brain damaged.
Wow, yeah,
Honestly.
for want of a better phrase.
Yeah, if he wasn't dumb before Omega got a hold of him, Omega wrecked his brain.
Yeah, definitely.
And then Donut's probably the most legitimately stupid one out of the rest of them.
Donut, I've got absolutely no problem. That's stupid, but it's done in a good way. Whereas I think Caboose is just taken a bit too far the other way.
Well, a lot of Donut's jokes are just, they're like very cleverly veiled like gay jokes. And they're not anti-gay jokes. They're just gay jokes. Because the whole point of the whole joke of his character is there's nothing wrong with him liking cock, but he's just repressed.
I think the more technical term would be more effeminate, because there's the one scene in this one where he's supposedly trapped under the spaceship, and Sarge is just shouting very sort of effeminate aimed sort of insults to try and spark the Hulk-esque rage out of him.
I
thought
don't
it was
know.
incredibly funny. Sarge is still my favourite character, but I thought it was incredibly funny.
Oh, so you like Sarge because he's mean?
I don't know. It's a level of humour that I can very much relate to. Just that general assholery.
Well, my favorite character, honestly, as much as I love Caboose, over the entirety of the series is definitely Church.
Yeah, I can see where you're going there.
I totally dig Church. Even though like the whole time I'm like he's an asshole. But Caboose is the most lovable to me. I'm a total blue guy. Blue tard, whatever. And then like the one like I would think like if I was gonna end up being any of these guys, I'd probably end up being Tucker. That's who I see myself not emulating, but immersing myself into.
I don't know where I'd end up, or who I'd end up trying to be. I don't know, Griff, but maybe a bit more proactive, because you know you can only go so far with being the lazy son of a gun.
He is making it stretch for miles.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure you could do a couple things with it. Sorry, I'm thinking of the funnier stuff that happens in the newer. This is one of those series. It only gets better as it goes.
Yeah, I think it's starting to go. Just hang on 1 minute. I need to open a window. I am melting in here.
No worries. So for anyone watching, I'm just a big Rooster Teeth fan. I'm a big Red vs. Blue fan. I was there before there was YouTube. Ooh, he's old. What's before YouTube? Like, that's gonna be how we reset our time. It's gonna be BY or AY instead of BCAD. It's gonna be a ridiculous world.
I live in a greenhouse.
What?
I live in a greenhouse.
Why are you telling us what color your house is?
Because I can.
Do you want to give your address out while you're at it?
Yeah. 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney.
That's excellent, Charlie. When are we going to watch that one?
Put it on the list. Just in time for the next one to come out.
No, it's such a good movie, though. When was the last time you watched that?
It is a very good movie. I do like that one. Oh, it's been a few years.
So you're probably a little fuzzy.
Definitely been a few years since I saw it. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean it's such a notable movie if just for CG. But it's a fantastic, the lovable movie, and they're doing a sequel, and I don't know how I feel about it still.
I'm gonna go in with cautious optimism.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. But I don't know what they're gonna do. Like, where do you take that story from where it's at?
I think it's supposed to be exploring Dory's backstory, isn't it?
Her backstory, so it's a prequel?
The back Dory, if you will.
But I'm changed.
Sorry. That was terrible. I do apologise.
It's fish. How could you? How could you?
I don't know. Let's have a look. Let me read it, because it's not supposed to be out until June 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to. Let me read this. Finding Dory will be focused on the amnesiac character Dory and will explore the idea of her being reunited with her family. The setting is 1 year after Finding Nemo and will be set off the coast of California. There you go.
I don't know. I totally like the idea that they're taking their time to make it a quality film. Just like I like when games do it. What I don't like is that they announced it this far in advance. Like, 1 year. 1 year ahead of time is all you need. Because if it does get delayed, then it gets ridiculous. But I would rather they just keep it a secret.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're going to do one, but we don't know when. You'll get to see it. I don't know. I think that's the right way to go about it. Like, it's the same idea that, like, Valve didn't ever put a release date on Halo 3, or I don't know. I don't know. I'm possibly a little bit distracted.
I had no. It's just.
I'm sorry. I was super hungry, and then it just took me forever to order the food, and then for it to get here.
That's fine. I did watch a second film today.
What was that one?
I watched Highlander.
Did you? Oh,
Yes.
Charlie. What did we think of that?
What? I liked it. I did like it.
I can totally see you like an Highlander. It's been a minute since I watched it properly. I'll be honest. I need to rewatch that one because what I remember now.
Definitely worth it.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. Like I remember it being a good movie. I remember enjoying it. I remember enjoying the action. But now when I think back on it, all I can think about is all the commentary I've heard about the movie. Particularly the fact that like Sean Connery plays a Spaniard.
Yeah, his accent kind of disappears after about 10 minutes.
I'm Sean Connery. I'm playing a Spaniard. You're lucky I'm in this shit.
Fantastic.
And then you got the Scotsman, who's actually from Belgium. So he has this kind of like in my head I've got this super exaggerated version of the movie between like the I think that was Craig Ferguson's impressions of the movie, and then all the jokes about there can be only one. Like I think there was a celebrity death match where like Lindsay Lohan was killing all the other pop stars. So like I've got in my head like that's what it looks like when they kill each other.
It was. I did, for the fact it's nearly a 30-year-old film, I did think some of the effects were absolutely excellent.
As I can remember, they did a really good job for the time.
Yeah,
and what's important more than graphics is keeping the overall aesthetic in place.
Yeah, definitely.
And they did that really well. See,
with you there.
That's what people don't realize when you do these CG movies and you do like video games and stuff. It's not the graphics themselves that make it good. It's the design to get all the color palettes complementing. It's the design to make them contrast when they need to. So you can't just make it look real and expect people to like it.
Mm.
Because that's a common thing that's happening with video games now. Is a lot of the journalists are talking about how most of the games just look gray or brown.
Yeah, it's a strange one, but nah, I think the thing I liked the most was the some of the sort of, well, training scenes, as I'd call them, up in the Scottish Highlands. Some of that was just absolutely stunning.
Oh yeah, beautiful, beautiful scenery. They captured it really well. But that goes on for like a half hour, doesn't it?
Yep, and I'm fine with that.
I mean, it was a big part of the movie because they, for whatever reason, they decided that they didn't want to kill each other.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, shouldn't they have been trying to kill each other?
I just, I just came up with my change of scene for that movie.
Yeah, you
Brokeback
could.
Highlands.
Yeah, we can go with that.
Why else did they spend so long not killing each other?
I don't know, especially since he was in such a level of doubt when they first met. I don't know. That's a very
Connery,
good
right?
point. Yeah, that's a very good point.
And maybe Connery was just suicidal, because if I remember right, he was kind of a sad person.
Well, yeah, there is that. But no, overall, I thought it was a very good film.
Well, if I remember right, you might have to just refresh me in general on the concept, but they're immortal. They live forever until everyone kills each other, right?
Yeah, until there's only one remaining.
And then what's the reward?
It seems to be the reward is mortality, because he suddenly then becomes kind of free of everything and is able to have a family and sort of actually be able to grow and age.
They were playing fast and loose with the definition.
Yeah, it's a very you never it never really explicitly says what the kind of reward almost is for having survived.
Well,
Does
I mean,
it?
people stopped hunting you, I think, was
Well, yeah,
one.
yeah. There's that for a start. Yeah.
Um, but no, there's always that thing when you talk about people who are immortal or people who don't die from aging. That's how we're going to define immortality for this discussion.
Yeah.
You agree? Okay. So there's always that thing where like you have to watch your loved ones grow old and die in front of you.
Yeah. And you
So
see that absolutely tearing them apart.
so not having to go through that mental anguish.
Well, yeah, there's
But,
that.
well, that's the thing is like I think there's a misappropriation of psychology there because that's based on the idea of humans being distraught about that.
Mm.
If you're immortal and you're just used to it, I think you'd get desensitized and be like, yeah, you're old, you're dying. I'm gonna go find someone else now.
Well, yeah.
I don't, but I don't see that as like necessarily a bad thing. It's just someone else's thing. It's not what I would do because I'm human. I'm
I
mortal.
suppose it depends entirely on. Well, indeed.
Well, think back to Zeus. Zeus fucked everybody. Like,
Literally.
oh yeah, I mean, like he fucked the gods. He found like human women. And I don't know if he hung around with them until they grew old or not, but like he would just be like, okay, I'm gonna go to the next one.
Yeah. Time to go.
I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
It was good. Yeah. Um. Oh shit. Hang on. I thought I'd lost it then. So what have you been watching in the 2 weeks you've had of nothingness to do?
Maybe it was just trying to get out of my regular routine because this is something totally abnormal. I kept having people ask me like, "Wow, you travel a lot then, don't you?" I'm like, "No." So irregular. I think I wanted to keep watching How I Met Your Mother to keep something familiar around.
Yeah. Oh, hang on.
Okay, so I'm talking on my own now. So yeah, I totally think that was a thing for me was to keep some sort of familiarity around as I had How I Met Your Mother running because I started like season 2 and I've got up to season 8 now because it's something I've watched for so long. I don't have to like look at it. I can kind of remember what it looks like. So it was like that or Big Bang, and I don't know why I didn't go Big Bang. And if we weren't doing reviews on Red vs. Blue, it's definitely something I would too. Because, like Clerks, that is a movie where it's very much all about talking. It's about the dialogue. The actions are secondary. If you go back and you pay attention to Clerks, it's really them standing around a mall, or sorry, a convenience store, or a rental place, whatever. So the actions are all passive. There are people coming in, buying stuff and leaving, or they come in, they play hockey, so they're doing that. But it's more about the dialogue that surrounds the action. So it's, to me, I like those sort of things. Not only is it something I can listen to, and it's like listening to somebody have a very convoluted conversation, very much like podcasts are now. But like, it lets me kind of fill in the gaps because your brain will do a better experience for you than most movies and stuff will. It's just kind of the fact of it. Your brain fills things in how you want them to be. So occasionally your experiences are ruined by what the actuality is, or comparing it to what your memory of it was. It's just one of those sort of things. You okay, buddy?
Memory of what? Yeah, sorry about
that. Never mind. But no, I was saying that like when like you're just listening to something, like especially like movies and shows like Red vs. Blue or Clerks that are dialogue driven, your brain tends to fill in the action and the scenes better than like the reality of it can.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you go through an experience, your brain creates a memory, especially if it's an exceedingly good one, that is better than the actual experience of doing it. So a lot of times when you rewatch something and you get that correlation, your brain's just feeding you that reinforcement from the last time. So that makes it look better or be a better experience per se. It's kind of the nostalgia effect. I don't know. I'm horrible. Oh, man, I really should have. Man, okay, so this is a good check day for me though to realize. Okay, this is what happened. So this is where I want to be by next week. Had a lot of that. I think I'm gonna.
Where do you want to be next week?
Say again?
And where do you want to be by next week?
Well, I want to have like watched a couple movies so I can ramble about it better, because I'm just kind of working off stuff. And you, Charlie, I don't know if you just don't think people want to hear what you have to say, but you don't ramble about movies enough. And I probably ramble too much, in fairness.
That's because I can't. I literally have enough for a 5-minute thing, and that's it.
Well, that's all. My personal opinion. That's all based on the idea that you don't think that anyone wants to hear the rest of anything past 5 minutes.
I think it's just more the fact I run out of things to say after 5 minutes.
Okay.
If you notice, you can probably kind of sort of average my videos down to a very specific number, which, you know, they're all anywhere between 3 and 6 minutes, maybe. I think I've had one that's gone over 6.
Sorry, I started realizing too when I was setting up for me being gone that a lot of my videos have the same pace to it, and I'm not even trying anymore. So, like when I go and I load it into a project, the pictures for the annotations are already basically in the right place.
Basically where you need them, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, I'll just shift you over a few frames and we're set.
Excellent.
So I'm glad. Yes,
You've
sir.
gone to nearly 15 minutes at once, at least.
For like my movie reviews.
Yeah, I can't remember which one it was, but you've definitely gone to 15 minutes for at
It
least
all
one.
depends upon how much I really have to say on it.
Hmm.
And a movie that I really like or I really don't like, I can definitely go on about. So I would say 5 to 15 minutes. Stardust, I might have gone to 18.
I think it might have been Stardust, actually.
That's probably one of my longer movie reviews
Yeah.
because I love it and there's so much to talk about in that movie. Um, but like Big Friendly Giant, like I had to force myself to say shit about that movie.
Or did you
No
not like it?
offense. It was just nominally bad to me. Like there was so little to talk about. I can't just sit there and go it's British for 10 minutes.
Mm.
So like I think that one was probably like 5 6 minutes if that. Um,
Actually, just to quickly take us back to future picks, I'm just on Netflix at the moment, and I've just seen that they've got the film adaptation of Misery. I so want to put that on there.
I
The
don't even know what that is.
it's Stephen King.
Yeah, me and Stephen King have a weird relationship.
Oh no, Misery is one of his best books as far as I'm concerned.
My favorite movie based on a book of his was probably The Mist.
Not seen that one.
It's the one. This is gonna sound lame, but it's really not. It's the one where the government labs like open a portal into another dimension, and all these monsters come through,
Interesting.
and they're surrounded by a mist. So it's focused on this town, particularly the grocery store that the majority of the people are trapped in.
Hmm.
Um, and I really don't know why it's so compelling because like I think I rewatched it. Like it was scary and compelling when I was a kid, but I rewatched it as an adult and I was like, man.
Well, you're gonna get that with all sorts of things, aren't you?
What do you mean?
Well, it might be incredibly scary when you're a lot younger, but then you kind of, well, not grow up, but you kind of watch it again when
Well,
you're older, and it doesn't seem half as bad.
the last movie I remember being afraid of, like of anything in the movie, before like my brain kicked in and went, dude, it's a movie. Was Flight of the Navigator.
I'll add that to the list.
It's a kids movie. It's an old Disney movie, and it's a kid who gets chosen. Like it's his destiny to fly the spaceship. I have
Hmm.
no idea why. Uh, but like as he's exploring the spaceship for the first time, there's all these like creatures that they're the last of their kind, and for whatever reason, instead of them being in proper cages
Hmm.
or whatever, they're in like these weird test tubes in the wall, and he gets too close to one, and it eats the hat off his head.
That sounds quite cool, actually.
Like, and I remember like I so clearly. I jumped off the chair and ran behind it, and just befuddled the shit out of my grandmother
No.
because she was like, "What? It's no, it's just a movie, and it's see, he's done eating it." She didn't know what to say. Like it was such a weird thing to be scared of. Um, but I think from that, like after that movie, it was like, well, it's just a movie.
Hmm. That was kind of the realization point, was it?
Yeah, and but that's I mean it's set up for a great run of like me being able to laugh at horror movies, because honestly, if you look at it like from any realistic strategic viewpoint, they're pretty damn funny.
Hmm.
I still get jump scared every now and again though.
Yeah, well, that happens. What film was it? I had a really bad jump scare the other week. I can't remember what it is. Had that happen recently, where it just is shit like that.
Species comes to mind when I think jump scare.
Species.
Yep.
That was a hint for you to elaborate.
Oh, I think it was Natasha Henstridge. Uh, she was a genetic experiment
Hmm.
where was she an alien? I can't remember. Regardless, she was in a lab and she escapes Um, the problem is that she was raised there, so she looks human, but she's actually like this weird reptilian thing. And as soon as her hormones kicked in, she started wanting to mate, instinctually wanting to make a kid. Well, the problem is that like she gets loose and she goes cock hunting, and she starts killing people that like get in her way because she doesn't understand enough to blend in. She realizes she has to wear clothes and that she needs to talk to people a certain way. But past that, she doesn't have any of her culture. So was it the guy? I don't know. Like if it's the guy in the hot tub or what. But like she ends up finding somebody and trying to cocoon up. She's pretty scary looking in monster form.
Sounds interesting.
But I think I'm pretty sure she has a kid because there's a species 2, and I think the species 2 is about hunting the kid down. Because there's like an accelerated growth rate or something, so it's only like a couple months before the kid turns into like an adult. I don't know.
Is that on Netflix?
Did that actually sell you?
Missed on there, so I've added that to. Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to look up Netflix. I realized that we don't have the same Netflix, so let's see if it's on American Netflix. And you know what? As much as I like The Mist, I don't even know if I truly could say like that's one people should definitely check out. But I liked it. I just it gets kind of weird. It gets kind of religious at points because it's a bunch of people trapped in a confined space trying to ration food and create order. So, like, obviously one of the people who vies for the top position is the local religious nut.
Yeah.
And in the face of certain death, people enjoy looking to God. Well, it's Species is on the DVD route. I don't think...
that probably means I won't get it then. Oh, well, I've got plenty on my list anyway.
Yeah, you got plenty to watch, and there's always a way to find it if you really, really want it.
I'm desperate. Yes, my list has 50 things on it.
I kind of miss Sid's ridiculous adventures of finding a rental place.
Yeah.
You remember those?
Oh, back in the day. Yes, I remember now.
I was like, I will give you a URL, and she's like, no, I like doing it. I don't know. It's just funny. Ha ha! Okay.
Oh dear.
Whew, man. Food is great. I definitely recommend it.
Yes, food is underrated.
Oh man. So, yeah, sorry, I came slightly underprepared because I was expecting a different scenario, but that's all right. Oh, I totally had something. I totally lost it. That's what I was gonna suggest, but there's a certain way I wanted to do it. But go, take it away. I'll try to remember.
I was about to say, why don't we move on to kind of what we're going to be doing in the future as far as this place is concerned, because we kind of reached the end point of what we'd got on the calendar, and we've added a few new things. I don't know if we want to spoil anything now. Or...
Did I mess up? Was I supposed to release a review on Friday?
It's your Red versus Blue, I think, wasn't it?
Oh, damn it. I really wish this wasn't on. Yeah. I'm late on everything this week. It's official.
That's alright, because I'm late as well.
Okay, so that'll go up. I've gotta add one piece of audio for your pick next week, and then, which if you want to share that here, that's up to you.
The next pick is a film that I remember watching as a kid, I haven't seen it for years, and then I saw it on Netflix, and I just had to pick it. It is it 1996? It is 1996 film called Down Periscope with Kelsey Grammer in it, and it's a typical sort of idiot being sort of set up for a failure, but ending up becoming brilliant type of thing. That was a really, really bad description of it. But this sort of naval captain is given an old rust bucket of a submarine and a really sort of inept crew to take part in a war game, and ends up sort of actually doing incredibly well. And it's the whole kind of band of misfits sort of coming together and becoming some kind of dream team. But it is so funny.
It is really funny. It's the equivalent of like the special team being set to scrimmage against the varsity football team.
Exactly.
And then the special team actually gets the acknowledgement.
So yeah, that's exactly how it is.
Yeah, so I'll add the audio into my review for that, and then I'll get that posted. I can definitely do that tonight.
Excellent.
So we're only a day late, and then I've got the BS ready to go for that as well. So that'll go up on time. So
I will try and get my change of scene done in time as well.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, and then we'll do your Down Periscope next Friday, and we'll move on from there.
Yeah.
I gotta get back into swinging. I gotta get through everything. There's so much video to go through.
You could get the cats doing reviews.
It's. I don't know if I want to talk about it yet. I had an idea for them to have their own show.
God, this could be fun.
But I think to do it properly, I may do a couple pilots before I buy the equipment, but I think I need to buy a GoPro to do it right. Or at least a stick. And that sounds like I'm going to beat my cats. No, like a stick where you put your camera on the end of it.
Yeah, don't worry on you.
Like, I've already got sticks to beat my cats. No, no, it's... I've got those big foam weapons. I don't know if you've seen them before or not. But when I need to get the cats out from like under the bed or the couch, like I'll use those and I'll sweep them out.
That works.
'Cause you loves it, don't you? Don't you? Well, if you let go of my shirt, wee. There you go. She's fine. She just runs for a hop.
I shouldn't laugh, but...
No, what? I tossed her 3 to 4 feet.
Oh, that's alright then.
Yeah, it's not like I threw her across the room. And it's a very soft bed. So it's soft enough. They like it.
That'll do.
So
yeah, we've also got
for upcoming stuff. Like I'm gonna watch Bad Words either tonight or tomorrow. At this rate, I'm very much hoping at getting through a lot of that, editing that video so I can get that up, and then as I get through that and I realize who I need to go check out, I'm gonna be checking out some new YouTubers. Hopefully, I'll have some stuff to share on that next week. Gaming-wise, I want to try to make that more regular. If movie reviews need to take a backslide, they pretty much already have, but there's other things I want to be doing right now.
Yeah, fair enough.
So We Are Movie Club's going to be...
probably do some gaming stuff.
I mean, it is what it is. I can't get in my head to do a weekly gaming thing. Like, you were doing Pokemon for a little while. I don't know if you're still doing that.
Time completely overtook me on that one.
So I don't know if like maybe this is the way to do it, and I'm just silly about it. But like maybe if you film like yourself playing for like in like 10 to 15 minute segments for an hour, or two, and that gives you like a month's worth of weeklies. Maybe that's a smarter way to do it. But like I'm playing through BioShock still, and the reason I'm probably not done by this point is that I had a 2-week vacation. So I want to get through that, and then I've got a how to play still waiting to be edited. So like I want to get to that, and I want to do another one of those as soon as possible because I think those are probably my favorite things I've done. And my How to Play Munchkin has earned me like over $2 now.
Why?
So I'm super proud of myself.
Eventually, you'll earn enough to pay for that takeout.
No. But no, and that's not the point. Like, if I did make a living off YouTube, that would be great. But it's not even like the end goal for me. It's if I could just make enough to like pay for the equipment that I bought to do it, the software, like that would be enough to me, because it's a fun hobby. What I want to be doing is programming and designing games. So unless I've been trying to rack my brain to find a way to incorporate the two things. But
yeah, I can't really make any suggestions, I'm afraid.
Yeah, my ideas are all weak, so I'm trying to think of like if there's ways to reinforce those ideas or to use them to find a new idea that would actually work for it. But I think for my main time, I'm gonna just keep playing with stuff. I'm gonna buy some equipment to see if I can do some other things that are possibly more interesting. My end goal, not end goal, sorry. One of my goals definitely is to buy a quadcopter.
Yes, you said you wanted one of those.
Yes, I want one of those so bad. But I live in Florida. So occasionally there are places where there are alligators. So as long as I can avoid them eating it, I think I can get some very interesting footage of a couple alligators.
Yeah, because I saw some pictures of that, and that was terrifying.
Yeah, you know what? It was not tiny, but it was a really small alligator. For what I think of when I think alligator.
Yeah, as small as alligators can go.
It was so surreal, just like that's basically a dinosaur. That's in my head. That's how real it could be. It might as well be a dinosaur. And he was like 4 feet, maybe 4 or 5. But like
I'd still not want to go in.
Oh man, are there crocs up there? I know there's crocs in Spain, but is England too cold?
It would be very, very rare for there to be one over here. I wouldn't expect to see anything like that over here, except in a zoo.
Yeah, if I remember right, you guys have like some big catfish, but like I don't think you guys have any like large animals up there.
No, not really.
Are bears a thing? Are wolves still a thing there?
Not really, no. I don't think so.
They've all been hunted out?
Yeah, pretty much. We all got hungry.
I wonder what wolf tastes like. That would be awesome.
That'd be tempting.
Now I'm thinking like what bear, like there's all these animals like you don't normally eat, like what they would taste like, but you can't hunt them proficiently enough because they either don't breed enough or it's just bad for everything.
Yeah.
Like there was that whole thing in the Northwest somewhere where Old Faithful is the geyser, the famous geyser.
I don't know.
Yeah, sorry, it's America. I wouldn't expect you to, but like wherever that was, like there was a whole thing about how they reintroduced wolves because they got rid of them at one point, and they decided to reintroduce them, and it turned out like all this other stuff started changing along with the wolves being introduced, and it like brought it back to a better balance. Like the beavers started making their dams differently. There were less caribou like harassing. That may have been what it was. There were like caribou or moose harassing like the beavers in their territory. There weren't as many coyotes, which are harder to deal with supposedly, than wolves, because wolves will maintain a territory, but they don't necessarily like venture into human territory as much as coyotes do. So the wolves got in there and started killing the coyotes and rabbits, and so they put a check on a lot of things that were getting out of control.
I love the tangent we've gone on now.
Sorry, it's just life and stuff. All right, I guess we can end. It will be a better show next week.
Hopefully.
If that's what you can call this. What do you call it when you talk to people? I don't know. Do you talk to people about YouTube at all in real life?
No.
It's such an awkward thing, isn't it?
No, definitely.
Because you can't be like, yeah, I make YouTube videos, because people go...
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know why they look down on it, but like... So, like, I mean, like, especially when I was at RTX, I didn't know whether to call this a podcast or Hangouts or what, because you say a hangout, then people are like, you're hanging out with your friend? No, but like, so I call it a cast at least.
Yeah, it's a something cast.
Yeah, it's not as well produced as like the Rooster Teeth podcast or whatever. Because that one's done really well, and they've got like switchers where they've got like they trade out cameras and they do the live feed, and they take a edited version and put it and repost it. I don't know. All right, I guess we can call it.
Okay.
I'm stretching things again, but you want to take us out or me?
If you give me 2 seconds.
Okay, I'll do mine. You can take us out.
Yeah. You
all right, so I'm Kamurai. You can on the screen. There's a thing, and I can't see it now, but it says you can yell at me on the Twitters at Kamurai25. I do movie reviews on Jam on Toast 528. Right now, for the most part, it's just WeAreMovieClub because I've been dealing with VidCon RTX. So that's going to show up on HTKB, youtube.com/HTKB. I'm going to put up journalism sort of thing on what happened for my experiences there. And then, of course, Charlie's there occasionally. You can see us play games with each other. I was about to say see us play with each other on Game Division 528. Don't get me wrong.
So well until then.
And as usual, we are inappropriate for all ages. But Charlie, if you want to do yours and take us out.
Well, I can't guarantee content anywhere near as good as that, but should you want to, youtube.com/snowdog140, it's on there somewhere. I can point my finger properly, there we go. Or you can get me at the Charlie on Twitter. Pretty much all you need to know, isn't it?
And of course, you can yell at us at WeAreMovieClub on the Twitters. Let us know if you want to get involved. Definitely let us know. We try to monitor that hashtag from time to time for hashtag WeAreMovieClub, but right now it is really just the two of us, and it's not always easy to do that, especially when we got things going on. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Looking into Charlie's sexy eyes.
No, do that off camera.
We just stare at each other. I want to know you. Okay, so yeah, so that if you want to be part of this hot mess, that's how you do it. Is you let us know, comment, whatever, and we'll see you on this next week. Be sure to catch my Rooster Teeth, Red vs. Blue Season 5 review that's going to go up here shortly, and then the bad summary. If you don't have time to watch the whole thing, we'll sum it up for you on Sundays. All right.
Mondays.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.